When I really resonate and I look at all the successful people I've worked for, the truly successful $1 million plus net worth investors that I've worked for and worked with and become friends with, there's one common characteristic amongst the top 10%. And it's the desire and the hunger to always want to hunt. For me, it's not a buffet in life. The buffet exists, but I can't eat it all. I got to decide what I want, where I find it, how I find it, what it looks like, and then be smart enough to know when you're out hunting and you found really the right thing. You find that trophy buck. Hey everyone. Troy Eckard here with Talk with the Texan, Money and Life. Another opportunity to share with you some of the things I've learned over the last 41 years of my career. Just to remind everyone, I've been involved in the oil and gas industry, and I've represented multi-millionaires for over 41 years. I've had high risk, low risk, successes, failures, but at the end of the day, part of Talk with the Texan, Money and Life is to share with you some of my experiences. Maybe I can help you have a better life, make more money, and balance the difference between successful in monetary sense and successful as a human being. Today, I want to talk to you about one of the things I believe will make you successful as an entrepreneur or in business. It's called the ability to understand how to hunt. Now, what does hunting mean? No, it doesn't mean going out shooting doves or ducks or deer or elk. Hunting means in life how to hone in your skills to always be aware of opportunities. You know, Talk with the Texan, Money and Life is 41 years, 4 decades of working for multi-millionaires of every asset, every occupation, every industry, every state. Can't even believe the thousands of deals I've looked at in 41 years. But when I really resonate and I look at all the successful people I've worked for, the truly successful $1 million plus net worth investors that I've worked for and worked with and become friends with, there's one common characteristic amongst the top 10%. And it's the desire and the hunger to always want to hunt. It's the desire, it's the effort, it's the intention to become an expert at hunting. So let me tell you what hunting means. Hunting is when I leave my office today around 3:30 to beat traffic. I'm not just on the radio. I'm not just drinking a cold Coke. I'm hunting. I'm probably listening to Fox News. I'm probably on the cell phone talking to a partner. And I'm looking at signs, and I'm looking at closed stores, and I'm looking at empty shopping centers. I'm looking at bulldozers. I'm looking at cranes in the air. And I'm taking side roads. I could go down 20 miles and take a ride on the normal road to home. And I go, today, I'm going to get off 2 exits early. I'm going to go down the road. I'm going to take a couple of back roads. And I'm going to see what's going on. I'm going to see a sign for sale by owner. I'm going to see a tractor for sale. I'm going to see cattle for sale. I'm going to look at a brand new pad site being made. And the way I'm hunting is I'm making myself exposed to what is available in the world for me to maybe participate in or take advantage of. Most people, 98%, maybe 99%, don't even know what hunting is. And if they do, they don't know how to hunt. And how you hunt is simple. You fine-tune your skills. Because every time you hunt, let's say I'm going to go hunt pheasants, and I've never been before. I have no idea what's a female or a male. Haven't done it before. They say, here's what the male looks like, here's the female. Don't shoot the female. Oh, I got it. I learned something. I bet the same thing applies to other types of bird species. I learned something. I'm learning how to hunt. Then when I go out there, I realize between the dogs and the men, they're pushing the pheasants. Oh, that means the pheasants are on the ground, and until they get stirred up, they're not going to fly. Gotcha. I learned something else. Until I go poke the bear and call on this house and that raw land and that raw land, I'm never going to know what the value is. But if that drive home and that back road passes by 5 pieces of real estate, and I call, and this one's 16,000 acre, 17,000 acre, 14,000 acre, 10,000 an acre, I now have kind of a clear scope, at least from that preliminary hunting trip. There's 4 different opportunities at 4 different prices. Now I got to determine why. Why they're different in prices. Is one a good deal, or is the 10,000 really worth only 5,000, and the one worth 17,000 is really worth 40,000? I don't know that. I have to hunt. I'm not just hunting deals. I'm not just hunting relationships. I'm not just hunting money. I'm hunting 24/7 in every area of my life. I'm hunting in knowing how I find out the data. That means I got to find out sources. What source is best for me to evaluate those 4 pieces of property? What value is it best for me in those 4 relationships? I walk into a law firm, there's 4 lawyers. They're interviewing me. They want my lawyer business. I look at him, I go, guy's very technical. He's very tort-oriented. He knows the law. Not sharp in business, I can tell. Guy over here, he knows the law, but that isn't what he offers. He offers you a relationship that will help understand my business, and then he can help tell me which one of his 3 colleagues will do the work that he's going to quarterback. He's going to quarterback the other 3. They'll do their specialty, and what I get is a great legal team, but that's my quarterback. That's my fullback. That's my center, using sports terms, obviously. So Talk with the Texan, Money and Life is 40 years of career learning how to hunt. So I tell my staff every day, I could literally leave this office, and I bet you driving home today, I could identify probably 3 different investment opportunities that I can make $100,000 profit on in real estate alone on the way home. I could do it every day. Well, Troy, why don't you do it? Because I make a lot more money in my oil and gas business. And I'm 61 years old. And I've done that. I bought a lot of real estate. I still buy real estate, but I buy real estate for very specific purposes and very specific parameters. But I'm telling you, if I were 20 years old, 25, 30 years old like I used to be, every day, because of my 40 years of learning how to hunt, there's so much opportunity, so much value, I can't even tell you how much opportunity is right there in front of you. So let's go back to my point to you. Are you a hunter? Do you get off the beaten path? Do you go listen at a conference? Not because you're going to go to the conference because you want to buy Tupperware. Do you go to the conference to find out about Tupperware? Because Tupperware is what every housewife uses for their home. And Tupperware prices are up 45%, which means there's inflation intact. And Tupperware is selling larger containers instead of smaller containers because there's more profit in it. And they're selling bundled Tupperware because now you have to buy 10 pieces instead of 1 because they make a higher profit. That means your wife's spending more money. That means your consumer spending is going to be higher and your retention of savings is going to be lower. Do you go to the conference and find out there's nobody there? Everybody's got their wares. There's conference, there's tables everywhere, there's aisles, and there's nobody walking down the aisles, which means the economy must be tight because nobody's buying Tupperware. See, every time you have an opportunity, and you must value your time first, your time is the most important asset you have. But if you're going to hunt and go, I'm out hunting pheasant. Up flies a dove. That's not what I'm looking for. Dove can fly. I see a jackrabbit run to the right. Don't care. I'm not hunting jackrabbit. I can see a deer off in the left-hand corner. Not hunting deer. Don't care. By hunting, you learn only not how to hunt, where to hunt, but you learn what to hunt. See, I've learned over 41 years. If you can determine what your natural instincts are good at, if you can determine how to identify an undervalued asset, an undervalued opportunity, to find out where the opportunities exist, to find out how to negotiate these opportunities, your entire life, your entire career will be a total summation of the skills you develop as a hunter. And that hunter in you will keep you from hunting the wrong thing, staying out of bad investments. The hunter in you will keep you from buying that piece of property that really is not as good as you think it is. The hunter will keep the emotions out. You don't get worried if you lose this deal because you know how to hunt to find something else. You're not worried about not having a deal or a paycheck. You're not worried about not making a profit. What you're saying is, I'm hunting pheasant, and until I see a male pheasant fly, I'm not pulling the trigger to go after it. That is the part about hunting I love the most. Not just what's out there you can hunt, not where you can hunt, not what you can hunt, but it's exactly what I want to hunt. It's what I want for me. It's not a buffet in life. The buffet exists, but I can't eat it all. I got to decide what I want, where I find it, how I find it, what it looks like, and then be smart enough to know when you're out hunting, when you found really the right thing. You find that trophy buck. You find that trophy pheasant. You find that asset, that opportunity, that relationship, that mentor, that lawyer, that CPA, that financial advisor, that energy expert. You find that and go, now my entire organization of my life in my hunting effort, I have fulfilled that with relationships and opportunities to the point my hunting is proficient and it's exact. I don't care if you're 40, 50, 61, or 75. I'll guarantee you, you can be 5 times better hunter if you start trying today and doing what I told you to do, which is be proactive, be a putzer, drive, look, listen, ask. Don't be a jerk. Call up producer and go, hey, I'm looking at different property in the area. What's your price? Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. You want to take my number down? You can call. If you find anything else that's of value, call me, please. I'm a buyer. What you're doing is you're hunting, but you're not doing it in such a way that you become obnoxious. You're being a hunter because a hunter who's truly good goes out with 1 shell and 1 rifle to hunt a deer. He's going to pick the right deer, the right way he wants it, and he's going to pull the trigger 1 time. That is a proficient hunter. Hey, I'm Troy Eckard. I'm the host of Talk with Texan Money and Life. I'm excited about what I do. I'm glad you listen in. Tell your friends about it. I can't wait to get to the next episode.